Scrolling through the Herald Sun, one of their podcast series called Sacked came up. In one edition, they interviewed former footballer and Western Bulldog AFLW coach Nathan Burke. An interesting topic that was raised was Ross Lyon. Burke was formerly on the Saints board and was there when Ross Lyon made one of the biggest coaching moves of all time. The way he did it was never seen before. It's now 13 years ago, Lyon crossed over from St Kilda to Fremantle. All this time later, everything seems to have been forgiven, but the truth is, Lyon went completely rogue in the 2011 off-season and fooled just about everyone around him. The 2011 seasons for St Kilda and Fremantle were telling. The Saints had made back-to-back grand finals, losing both in heartbreaking ways. In 2009, they lost to an all-time great Geelong side, and the following year, a million bouts and maybe 2 extra minutes of added time would have seen them come from behind against Collingwood. They would end up losing by 56 points in the rematch the following week. 2011 was another all-in season. Lyon had 2 years left on his contract, and according to Burke, entering the year things became difficult. Internally, there were some issues. Ross is a very hard man to work for. There were people leaving, good people leaving. There was a bit of a fractious relationship. You could see that the players that we were playing were all the senior guys. The young guys weren't really coming through. Perhaps the group being another year older and having a hangover from a grueling 2 grand finals, St Kilda finished 6th with 12 wins and ended up losing to Sydney in the elimination final. Fremantle in the same year weren't quite as successful. The 2011 season was important for their coach Mark Harvey, who had won 13 games the previous year, but struggled in his first 3 years as senior coach. Nothing went his way. The club had a horrific injury toll throughout the year, and to get to 9 wins and an 11th place finish was more than respectable. It seemed from the outside at the time, Harvey had done enough to progress into the 2012 season and hopefully bounce back with a healthier squad. Behind the scenes, he was far from safe. During 2011, Lyon was in a difficult personal position. He needed long-term security. He had lost a significant amount of money after investing in a mining company in 2009. His decision would not be a solely football one, but a decision to secure him financially. Burke admitted the Saints were slow to extend Lyon's contract and weren't fully aware of his personal financial situation. There is certainly one view that we did stuff it up because we delayed it, that it took too long to get to the point of yes, we are recontracting him. That's where Ross's team thought we should have got to, he told Sacked. The Herald Sun later adds, Burke says the St Kilda board was not aware of the sensitivities over his financial situation and desperation to get long-term security. Look, we weren't aware of his personal circumstances. Potentially, if we had been, could we have given him more confidence that yes, we are probably going to get there, but what's the hurry? You are playing in finals and doing well, and we will get there at some stage. In hindsight, it was strange Lyon and his management didn't make his financial situation clear to the club and give them full context of his eagerness to sign a long-term deal. You may also argue that is private information and shouldn't impact the club on re-signing a coach. With Lyon's management and St Kilda stalling, and reports leaking Lyon was being greedy, he and his family were fed up. He took action into his own hands, and on September 15th, this bombshell story dropped.
Opportunity to work together for 2012. After 3 days of discussions this week, we reached an agreement yesterday.
Ross, do you feel you stabbed Mark Harvey in the back?
Not particularly, no. I've been headhunted by the Fremantle Football Club, certainly taking through a PowerPoint presentation the club's resources, their future direction and what they want to achieve. And an attractive offer was put in front of me. I'm an AFL career coach. I have a young family, 3 children and a wife. They are my purpose. And at the other end, I had no involvement or no understanding of the relationship between Fremantle Football Club and Mark Harvey. sit here today, I hold my head high.
Mr. Harris.
The immediate reaction was huge. Gerard Whateley at the time said Lyon was deceitful, duplicitous and distasteful. Lyon had successfully deceived his former employee in St Kilda and his manager Craig Kelly. While Lyon was secretly dealing with Fremantle CEO Steve Rossich, Kelly and the Saints were ready to sign off on a new deal. As Saints CEO Michael Nettlefold told the board the deal was all agreed, his phone kept ringing and the news came in. Burke, when asked if the club had been totally blindsided, said, "To a large degree, yes. Was it the right way for Lyon to go about things? I think probably no, but we did force his hand to do that. They probably think yes. So both camps would think they are right or wrong, but there is an element of fault on both sides, to be honest." It was even more awkward as Mark Harvey was also managed by Craig Kelly. Kelly thought both his clients would be happy in 2012 and beyond, but ended up having one of them sacked and another go behind his back. Lyon's perspective was one of frustration. Years later, while at Triple M, he went over his version of events. Simply, he had had enough of the negotiations. He felt like no one could be trusted. Lyon said, "So then negotiations with St Kilda were just breaking down. I had a meeting with Craig Kelly, and Melbourne in the background were coming through Paul Roos and Gary Lyon. But I asked Ned, and he said, no, they've got no interest. No one's got any interest. And we knew that wasn't quite the truth, me and my wife." The leaks of Lyon being greedy were released in the Herald Sun and the Age, leading to Lyon going rogue. So I went into my lawyer and said, "Mate, I'm done here." And on the way in, that's when an offer came in, interestingly enough, from St Kilda, which I didn't even look at. I said, "This is what's happened. I've had a gutful. I've done the right thing. I feel like I've been turned on." So I'm sort of in my head done. The move, however distasteful it looked, was a success for Fremantle and Lyon. He coached Freo for 7 full seasons and was sacked after round 22 in his 8th year. His first 4 seasons came with 15 or more wins and a grand final appearance in 2013. He had an immediate winning impact and made the Dockers a defensive powerhouse for the time. From 2016 onwards, Lyon led a clear rebuild stage of the club, with many of their current stars being drafted under Lyon. He would move into the media for a few years and is now entering a 3rd season back at St Kilda. Mark Harvey bounced around as an assistant, first at Brisbane until 2013 and then at Essendon from 2015 to 2020. After Lyon's departure, St Kilda would slowly tumble down the ladder in the following seasons. 2012 they finished 9th, 2013 third bottom, and 2014 they won the wooden spoon. It's been a frustrating decade for Saints fans, and with Lyon back at the helm, it's one of the stranger full circle moments in all of sport. In his 3rd year the first time around at St Kilda, they made a grand final, and maybe that will happen again in 2025.